Good morning, everyone. How are you? Great. So it's a real pleasure and privilege for me to be here today with you and to share Microsoft's perspectives on fundamentally, how we think about three questions that we keep getting from our retail customers, both in terms of questions as well as feedback, as well as asking us to make investments in those three areas or topics. So if you look at those three questions, the first one is, what are the latest technology trends that are really causing disruption in the retail industry, and how that's creating huge challenges as well as, of course, huge opportunities for the businesses. The second question that we think about and we get is, what are some of the early businesses who are adopting the technology or benefiting by leveraging these technological changes and advances? And the last but not the least is how Microsoft is investing and embracing this new technology to really enable the businesses to not only grow revenues, to hire more employees, but to create more economy and to grow the businesses. So those are the three questions. So I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes or so to really share some perspectives as to how we think about it and what's the feedback that we've been getting from our customers. Looks like I moved a little fast. So, all right, as a slide is coming, it's very clear, both the speakers, they talked about the big transformation that the retail industry is going through. It's very clear that the transformation that the retail industry is going through is pretty dramatic and the biggest ever that we have seen, as far as the time goes. And if we really look at what's happening in terms of some of the changes that the retailers have to deal with, it's essentially shaped by consumer behavior, shopping behavior, preferences, and expectations, which is what is really causing this big change, sea change. And this is fundamentally also caused by information access, be it the products, the pricing, the offers that the retailers have, and of course the experiences. And if we really look at it closely, it's really what's really happening is, from a consumer standpoint, the anytime, anywhere access is fundamentally what is actually driving this transformation. And at Microsoft, we really embrace this, and we actually refer to this new world as mobile first and cloud first world. So there are actually two terms, the mobile first and cloud first. And when our CEO, Satya, has actually declared boldly this new vision for Microsoft and how we enable businesses in this new cloud-first and mobile-first world, obviously we got a number of questions from our customers as well as feedback. And one of the common questions, and perhaps the most important one to really answer, is, how can two things be first? Mobile and cloud. And at Microsoft, we don't really think of those two as two different things. They're really two facets of one thing. If you were to think about it, the cloud is really built to enable mobility. And mobile devices without the cloud are really not interesting. Can we imagine using our smartphones without access to email, without access to search, without access to Skype, and so on and so forth? These are all the cloud services that we have, are powering all of the mobile devices. And so similarly, when you think about the mobility without the cloud, so it's really limiting. And the cloud without mobility is really mostly latent potential. And so therefore, it's all about the cloud first and mobile first. And when they come together, so that's where the magic happens. That's what really enables anywhere, anytime access to consumers, and which really shapes their experience, and which is what is causing this transformation, so to speak. If you were to look at some of the numbers, Raj has shared some numbers in his talk. Some of the estimates show that there will be 1 billion people with access to devices, the mobile devices, be it a smartphone or a tablet, and in a few years' time. And we have close to about 3 billion people with internet access. So in other words, what this really means is that 1/3 of people are just one click away with that experience of purchasing a product or having that experience, with the businesses. So from a business perspective, with all of this change in this cloud-first and mobile-first world, how do you really cope with this changing consumer expectations? The only way is to really embrace the cloud-first and mobile-first world, and to really have all of the retail processes, both from a consumer perspective, as well as all the internal collaboration processes amongst the employees, as well as how you interact with your suppliers, have all of them streamlined, and with all of the data that's available anytime, anywhere, so the retailers can actually deliver the unique, seamless, and differentiated experiences for the consumer and really win them. And you might ask, what does this really mean in terms of the benefits, in terms of, obviously there is a value that you can see, but in terms of the real numbers, as all of you run your businesses, you think about revenues, you think about profits, you think about employees. Boston Consulting Study has done a survey, has talked to a number of small and medium-sized businesses in this particular case. And they have published a detailed report very recently, about 6 months ago, in October of last year. And what they found is that the tech-savvy small and medium-sized enterprises created more jobs, operated more profitably, and generated more revenue gains over the past 3 years. So that's not really surprising, but actually to quantify that and to have, as you sort of go through planning exercise, to think about and to put that in context is something really very powerful. What the Boston Consulting Study also did is, so that's interesting to look at backward and say, okay, well, these tech-savvy businesses are really doing well, but what if, even if a small percentage of SMEs followed the tech-savvy SMEs and really embraced the cloud-first and mobile-first, what would be the impact of it, both collectively to the economy as well as to the individual businesses? So as you can see, the numbers are really staggering. What was found out, or from a conclusion perspective was drawn, was that 6.2 million new jobs could be created and over $770 billion in revenue that could be gained collectively across 5 different countries: US, Brazil, Germany, China, and India, of course. So if you really look at the India numbers, these numbers are really big. 1.1 million new jobs and $56 billion is the amount that's being attributed, even if we were to assume just about 20%, around 20% of SMEs actually embrace this technology. So that's the sort of the impact that we're really talking about here. And clearly, retail is a major participant and is a major contributing industry to the overall economy. And so a big percentage, as we do the math, so the opportunity to actually grab this and make this happen is actually huge, as you can see from the numbers. And so what I want to do now is, so I talked about 2 things. One, what are some of the technology trends and how we think about it that would really impact businesses, that would really enable retailers to drive more revenue growth, to operate profitably, and to hire more employees, etc. And then I also talked about some of the validation of that with the BCG study that not only it talks about the numbers, the benefits the businesses are getting, some of the projections of the impact, but also there's a number of things in terms of what technology pieces that some of these leading enterprises find it attractive and interesting for you to be able to leverage. So now I want to spend a few minutes on how Microsoft is actually investing in all the cloud services and really bringing them to bear through all the devices. So as the slide is coming up, Microsoft has a rich history of very rich services that are that are delivered on-premise. And we have been transforming as a services and devices company and providing all of these services, delivering them in a cloud-first and mobile-first world. And what we have done is not only packaging all of these services, each service in its, if you look at it individually, that brings a lot of power, that brings a lot of value proposition, that delivers a lot of value. But then when you bring in all of this together, and particularly from a retail standpoint, if you package them and look at all these processes to really deliver the connected customer experience in a way that makes sense, that is seamless, that is unique, that is differentiated, that's where the value comes. And so you can see a lot of these numbers in here, but let me step back from some of these numbers and talk about one or two key concepts. So when you think about all of these services, be it, you recognize some of the very familiar services that are in here, be it Skype, be it Office. These numbers are really big. We have a rich legacy of a number of companies really using these services as well as individuals. And you have on the consumer side Xbox Live and all the different services. But what we're really doing is packaging all of these services to deliver on multiple devices. So clearly, from a consumer standpoint, they have access to multiple devices, be it a smartphone, be it a tablet, be it a computer, be it a TV. Our goal is to bring the best cloud-connected experience of all of these services for the customers to be able to really take what is best and what is needed, and for them to be actually able to deliver the connected, rich consumer experience. So I've been talking a lot about cloud, and some of us can relate to it. It's as easy as having an email or having Skype and accessing that, or to be able to do search. But then really, when we think about some of the benefits of the cloud, sometimes we don't really get to it. But if you were to think about it, once you are on a cloud service, it's always up to date. You never have to actually think about, is this the latest version? So every day, you are on the current version. It's the most up-to-date version with the latest features and functions that are being constantly updated based on the customer feedback. That's the beauty of the cloud. And so obviously what that means is that once you are operating on a service, you never have to upgrade. So the days of, buying something and upgrading after 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever the number of years, those days are gone. And so it's not only beautiful in the sense that you're always up to date, you never have to upgrade, and then you have anywhere, anytime access. So that's what makes the cloud compelling. So we talked about the transformation, and it also makes sense to see why this transformation is compelling and why it's happening. So from a Microsoft perspective, as I mentioned, we are investing heavily to deliver the best cloud-connected experience through all of these devices in a seamless way. And clearly, a number of customers, a number of early adopters are benefiting from this. Some of you may have heard about the Build Bear workshop. It's an interactive company of entertainment company with stuffed animals. What they've done is they've really done some interesting things to go after and reach out to children and kids. They were able to carve out some interesting things to have the kids come back to the stores again and again by really delivering the cloud services through mobile devices, both in the store as well as at home. And so they were able to, obviously, it's a custom experience for that particular company, and they were able to do some unique things that their customers would find it interesting. They have those stores that were ramped with this technology. They grew 25% year over year, and they're also expanding the number of stores over the last many years, and they're continually expanding and embracing the new technology to reap even more benefits. And I'm sure there are a lot more customer case studies, a lot more learnings that you can get from throughout the conference, and the Microsoft booths, Microsoft partner booths that we have here. Would be very happy to share with you, get your feedback, and of course take that feedback and make it actionable as we go back. So with that, thank you very much for the opportunity again, and have a great conference.